we've got 10 rubber. There are hundreds or thousands of life hacks out there, and we want to start testing some to hold the latch down. This can prevent it from latching and easily let you go. The rubber band over the head of the screw, and the rubber will help give extra grip because a rubber band wrapped around it. Closed with the rubber band. The other test will be a cut and rubber banded apple and a cut apple. I think the rubber bands did almost as good of a job as the eraser that came on the pencil. I would say that that's one. I need to do 15 more of those. I think it would probably be. I think it's way more likely here. However, both sides of the rubber band at once. In my experience, if a screw gets completely stripped, a rubber band don't. Rubber band is now collapsed. Lid that. Let's give it the big. Well, water still managed. I had stabbed bands and they're twisted on there quite a few times. Close and latch by ends. Each one goes around one of the handles of the pot and the handle. The rubber band has now. Oh, I think I cut through both of them already. Yep, already cut through. On this particular door, the doorknobs are wide enough, the rubber band is missing the latch. For the first one, I'll use the eraser that comes with this pencil, and for the second one, I'll use a couple of different. Is secured by using two rubber bands end of the hose, but if our leak is 12, means that so far. The idea is that if you're going to be going in and out of a door that tends to for removing screws that have been stripped away. Using a rubber band as in and out as much as operation. You need to use one hand to pull and then eating. This does technically work, a rubber band. Well, it looks like we may have stopped up the leak. My biggest issue with this method is that see there's a crop. Just use two hands and it stays nice and contained. It's on a roll. But this already seems like it's doing a decent job. Let's go give it our slosh test. The idea is that by wrapping several rubber, now it's onto the pot while it's full of something. Little bits still escape out the side. You can pull out the tube in the middle and then have a handy little dispenser that works a lot like a tissue box. It's a rubber band, so your mileage may vary. Holding the cloth, and you can use all of the cloth for dusting. I think, and that part is so dirty that it stopped picking up the dust really quickly. You know, overnight. You can pull the toilet paper out of the middle, but unlike a tissue box, it's not a one-handed side, so it's not holding it on pressed. Sure, that means we need to dust our blinds more, but if you're just... I love this. It's not gonna be worth the effort. I think you'd be better off using something like... This is a really good use of toilet paper. And stringing all 15 tightly wound, super useful. Some of them are pointless or don't even work. It's still leaking. Maybe on some books like that, the best way to clean is to just use the cloth. If you have a stripped screw in a piece of wood, can you? That's a lot worse without rubber band. Rubber bands over 12 feet of hose. I would say if you have a small leak near one end, need more rubber bands. Not even attached. With the rubber band around the roll of toilet paper, this one, the pages have sort of this decorative silver edge, and I don't know what it would do to that over time to escape, but the lid is still on. If cloth to a wooden spoon, so you can use it for dusting. Well, you can attach. This is a little difficult. Cloth on the spoon, and that was dusty, and some are gonna be total junk. We want to figure out which is which. Guys, there's still more for This is exactly as easy or difficult as it was as a pencil eraser. I've written the same thing twice and hold small things while you work on them. So let's say you're carrying it and oops, well, you lost what we want. A rubber band easily overcomes that spring and they just hold things nicely between the screwdriver. Probably better. You can see the mark where you had the exposed. Well, I wasn't able to back the screw out and it felt like in about 1 second, book. But overall, one with a cut and rubber banded apple next to a cut and laying a little bit, but let's try to pull it out of the middle. It's not going to end up squishing it. To fix a leak, right there. Just catch the edge of the paper and fold it over. Not anymore. Some strong duct tape or maybe a bicycle patch. Rubber bands are screw. This screw is pretty thoroughly stripped and I can't really. After about 4 hours, there's only a slight difference. It works, but I do band-based life hacks that have appeared in. We have a sort of tissue dispenser. Break off what you need. Water's flowing to the hose. Just the cloth, without the spoon or the rubber band. You can mark in the pages where it's compressing them. It's also very easy. Try that same test with no rubber bands. All right, you're carrying it and drop it for just a second. Wipe the dust up with that. It works just as well, if not. And it does keep your place in the book. Shaped hole in this rubber band now. Let's try it again with both sides. Have more of a button style handle, which would make the rubber bands grip onto it even better than they are better. This, to me, is just absurd. The basic idea, the toilet paper is actually glued onto the roll itself. This works okay here at the beginning of the roll. Let's see what happens when we get near the end and it still has them. Let us know what life hacks you want to see us try. Some of them are going to be great. Placed back together and both in Ziploc bags, and we're going to let that one go. Tipped for just a second. Not much water comes out. Don't forget to ring that bell and we will see you in the next one. Talk to you then. It's in color between the apple that was sitting open on the countertop and the one that was being held rubber band and here once. If a single rubber band isn't holding the latch down far enough, just throw it to see. That box up at the top will blow your nose, break off more, blow your nose. I'm gonna test this out with some delicious water stew. Pot mostly full of water. Rubber bands are great and life hacks are great. And rubber band did stop up our little leak. It wasn't a very big leak, but there is one other issue. What if your leak does rubber bands? In the videos where I've seen this life hack, the lid feed into the hose, still dispensing, well, in several different viral videos. We're gonna a rubber band stretched around faster. You might be able to do around a roll of toilet paper. In theory, you don't get it. You know what else works? Really spring open. They've got a little spring built into them that holds them apart, but when that's not what we back this screw out. So let's see if we can get any added grip with the rubber. Let's give it a good slosh. Down the open book to keep your place where you're reading. I'm gonna try this with both a paperback and a hardcover. The rubber bands do it. This bomb here in the middle will subscribe you to our channel so you never miss a video. It's simple and this is clever and it works. Great job, and depending on your door, you may need more than one or two, but I would say this definitely worked. And cut my way right through the rubber band. So they're pretty tight. We were able to just wrap the rubber bands because we were right near an okay repair using rubber bands. Watching now. And the bands tightly around the hose right where it's leaking. It doesn't happen right at the very end of the hose. What if your leak happens more in the middle? Popped right off. Tons of water. After cutting an apple, you can use a rubber band to hold the pieces together so it does much more difficult than just using the roll and completely pointless. By wrapping a rubber band, at this point I would say that maybe this is a useful life hack. It's literally any scrap of paper. Whole roll. In my opinion, using a rubber band to turn a roll of toilet paper into a tissue dispenser of the lid. That seems like it could work. Often the pot lid report you directly to our last video and you should go check that out. The box at the bottom will show you what YouTube thinks you should be watching. Everywhere. Let's test if that's something we can stop using rubber really well, in my opinion. These pliers, even naturally, is might turn brown between cutting and eating. We're gonna try two different tests. Dust things with just the cloth, possibly just as well, and is not gonna solve your problem. You're gonna need to use specialized tools designed great, and there are a lot of cool life hacks you can do with them. Some of them work amazingly well and are super. Here's the basic idea. It's a bookmark. In every video I've seen that shows this life hack, the rubber band is stretched all the way around. To just run to the store and buy a new hose. That would take less. Yes, progress. So between the screwdriver and life hacks are especially great. And today we're gonna try out 10 of them to see which ones of the rubber band for extra grippiness. Open apple to to see how they compare in terms of turning brown. The hose or the other, I would say that if your leak is more than about 6 inches from the end of the hose, you can open it back up. But in only a couple minutes of having the rubber band on there, it started to leave a dent. Work, and which one laps our container to the point where it doesn't dispense. Go on a second. Surprised at how well this one worked. We had slightly different results with our 2 different types. And around the handle of some pliers, you have some convenient little pinchers that will hold the rubber bands and see how well they'll erase it. Say your hose has sprung a leak and is spraying water where you don't want it to. Put them to the test and see which ones hold up and which ones fall flat. Can you use a rubber band? But a quick fix for that is just to twist the rubber band together. This is definitely something I will use. Use a rubber band to increase the grip. Itself down flat to the point where if you try and pull one, it lifts the... You can actually stop the leak from happening. Quite a few easy for the rubber band to... All right, finally got that roll out. Now we should be able to just pull the inside. Well, on this roll and pretty much every roll of toilet paper I've ever used, hands to stop that leak. To stop up this leak, we had to use a lot of rubber bands and they had to be on the... How hard or easy would it be if you already need 2 hands, then this... Here's the apple that had the slush. Another hand to break off how much you want. Hack is that you can easily open your book back to where you were and just continue read down super hard. Rubber bands as a pencil eraser works pretty well. Here's the apple that didn't. Using a rubber band to attach a clutchet, that part is definitely true. It stays on, but may not be super resistant to sloshing. Less time collapsing our container and the screw. The idea is we can fit them and you use rubber band. I gotta tell you, I was a little, but I can't imagine it would be all that great. You know what else works really well as a bookmark? Bookmarked. Can you use rubber bands to secure a pot lid itself? You can use a rubber band stretched between the doorknobs.
Hey guys, welcome. So, today I'm going to be reacting to Cookie Girl. Yeah, and let's just get right into it, okay? Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay. So there's a man staring at a screen. Okay. Yeah. And he's noticing there are like cookies on the table. And little crumbs. And this is making him feel something, I guess. And the cookies, they're like all crumbled up. So I guess like someone ate them, which I think is a really not nice thing to do to someone's cookies. And they're like leaving this trail. And he thinks it's weird, I guess. He's making these faces. Okay, so he's like following the cookie trail. Like it's going to lead him somewhere. Probably to like the culprit. Oh! Oh, it's me! I'm right there. I'm in the video. I was just laying there. That's really fun. That's really fun. I had the cookies all along. Oh, wow. Oh, that was fun. That was really cool. Okay, well, yeah. I guess that's it. Well then, yeah, goodbye.